Good afternoon, Hillcrest family. Mark Johnson coming to you live from the putting green, the east putting green here at Hillcrest Country Club on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Yet another series of our golf educational videos for you. It's a good one for you today. I hope you tune in and enjoy. Make sure if you have any questions or comments, shoot them over and we'll be glad to get to them on air for you. If not, as always, this video will be available for replay on our YouTube channel, Hillcrest Country Club Boise. So talked a lot about the golf swing, about short game. We've talked about what's in your bag. We've talked about how to regrit clubs, what are the correct clubs for you. We've really not gone into drills, so practicing drills. This is going to be the first endeavor into practice drills, and I'm going to focus on putting practice drills for you today. I got about 5 really good drills for you that are really going to help you putt better. And the idea behind drills is to practice them and utilize them in your practice session, that when you go out to the golf course, it becomes pretty natural for you because you've been doing it over and over and over. It's almost where it's just monotonous. So when you're out playing, it's just all you're doing is executing what you've practiced. So when you come out and practice, make sure that you have a very focused practice session, and that when you're doing these drills, that you're going to adhere to them and not just kind of go, well, I'm just going to I'll do this for just a couple of minutes and then back off. Give yourself time with each of these drills. A good 10, 15 minutes with each drill is really going to improve your putting game, okay? So a couple of things before we get started with the actual drills. Number one, Kate talked about the 2 different types of putters that you can use. I'm currently using a mallet-style putter. For me, it just gives me a little bit better feel for balance. Putters are very, very personal. So, I would say when I'm trying to help someone select a putter, choose a putter that you feel is going to give you the most comfort, what you feel good over the ball with. If you don't feel good over the ball with a putter, you're quite simply not going to make a good stroke. So choose something not because of how it looks, not because of what people have told you, but because of what feels good to you. I will tell you, I've been playing golf for a very, very long time. There's not been a putter made to this day that as I look at it, it looks good to me. Every putter it doesn't look good to me. They don't fit my eyes. So what I choose are putters that work, putters that give me a good feeling of balance, a good feeling of strike at the impact, and that's the putter that I use. So use something that's comfortable to you. So just a quick overview on the stroke. I know we've covered this before, but again, the grip, you're going to use a grip that is comfortable to you. A lot of people use their golf grip. A lot of people use putting specific grips. I really don't care what kind of a grip you utilize with the putter. The only thing that I would ask is that we try to get our thumbs pointed more or less straight down the shaft. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep the face plate of that putter in a neutral position through impact. We don't want it hooding. We don't want it opening. We want it to come in square or neutral throughout the majority of the stroke. So if we can keep our thumbs pointing straight down the center of the shaft, that's going to happen most of the time. The second thing that I like to do is when I set up, I like to kind of make sure that my elbows, the inside of my elbows, are pointing outwardly, like towards the camera right now. I don't want them like this, pointing this way or that way. I want them outwardly. So it opens up my hands a little bit. And once again, this gives me that feeling of now I have half a chance to return the blade of that putter to a square position at impact. So again, what type of grip you use does not matter to me as long as we get that blade returning to a square position most of the time. So thumbs down, elbows out, Now I'm ready to make a stroke. My stroke, quite simply, I know we've covered this before, but I just want to go over it again real quick. It's going to entail my shoulders and not my hands. I'm going to allow my shoulders to make the rotational move back and through. And then the length of my stroke is going to determine how far I'm striking the ball. So, for example, on basically a putt inside of 10 feet, when I pull this blade back, I'm going to pull it back just about to my right toe. And then as I extend through, I'm going to extend it through past my left toe. That's really all we need in terms of length of stroke. Now, as we get to these 25, 30-foot range putts, clearly we're going to have to take a bigger stroke. So now the blade is going to go outside of my right foot, and yet it's still going to extend past my left toe. Okay, so 10 foot and in, right toe, 10 foot and out, outside my right foot, depending on how far the stroke is that I'm trying to create. Okay, so that's, the putting stroke in a nutshell. That's your layman's terms. If you guys have any more specific questions on the actual stroke itself, you can email or call us, and we'll be happy to go into detail with you. So the drills that I want to get to today are very, very specific. This first drill I'm going to give you, if any of you have taken a putting lesson from me, you probably heard me go over this drill. I use this one a lot. I believe it's probably the most helpful putting drill that you can possibly do for your putting stroke. So if you think about putts and how we miss putts, what's the biggest miss? Most likely it's going to be left of the hole or right of the hole. So that ball isn't going dead square into the hole, right? We're either pulling it or we're pushing it. So if that's the case, what does that really mean? Well, what it means is the blade of the putter is either coming in hooded or it's coming in open. It's not coming in square. So this first drill is going to really emphasize how to keep that blade square from the point of impact through the golf ball to our target. So what I just mentioned here is a key point: through the golf ball. A lot of putters, which we see, I don't know, I'd say if I gave 10 putting lessons, 9 of them would be decelerators of the blade. Decelerator meaning that as I'm coming into the golf ball, my blade is actually slowing down and not accelerating through. So deceleration is a huge problem with the putting stroke. So this drill is going to cover 2 topics. It's going to cover deceleration, and then it's going to cover squareness of the blade through impact to the hole. We want to make sure that blade extends through the ball to the hole. So I'll show you how this works. We're going to get some balls, and we're going to go real close to the hole. By real close, I mean 6-8 inches, okay? It's almost unmissable, right? So 6-8 inches. I'm going to line my blade up to the hole, and I want the blade of the putter to physically touch the ball. I don't want any space between the putter blade and the ball. I want them touching. So when I get set, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my left hand, and I'm physically going to push the golf ball into the hole. So I didn't take the blade back. I didn't take it through. I just pushed it through. So again, real close, get the blade of the putter to touch the ball, and then simply push it into the hole. Now, pretty easy from 6-8 inches away. So now as we get a little bit more comfortable with that push drill, we're going to start a little bit farther back. So maybe it's 12 inches. Okay, so again, blade touching the ball and pushing that blade into the ball and into the hole. Head staying still, and I'm letting that blade physically just push. Okay, so again, 6-8 inches, pretty easy. 12 inches, pretty easy. So now we got to increase the length, right? Now I got to get out here maybe a couple of feet. So again, line up, blade touching the ball, head still, push that golf ball into the hole. So it's all about using my left hand. It's all about allowing this left hand to extend, not to the ball, but through the ball to the back of the hole. That's the key. The putter extends through the ball, okay? Now, once I feel pretty good about that, what I like to do is, so let's fast forward. I'm maybe 10 minutes into my practicing of this drill. Now I'm going to fluctuate between pushing and stroking, okay? So the first one, I'll get set up, blade touching the ball, and again, head still, pushing that golf ball into the hole. So the next one, now I'm going to stroke it. But again, I'm going to use that feeling of that left hand moving not to the ball, but through the ball to the hole. So again, I get lined up, head still, stroke, through the ball to the hole. This is probably going to be one of your better putting drills you could ever do for yourself. It's going to allow you to, not only never, ever, ever decelerate, but it's going to allow that blade to come through pretty square most of the time. Okay? So again, that's the push drill. Very, very effective. Please utilize that one. I would say of all the drills that I'm going to cover today, that's probably the most important. So the next one.
Keep your head down.
The next one we're talking about, this is just going to be kind of a play upon that last drill, and that we're trying to keep this blade totally square through the point of impact through the golf ball. So this one's called the 2-ball drill. And what we're going to do is we're going to line 2 balls up simultaneously behind one another so they're touching, okay? And I'm going to get myself set. And the goal here is, can I stroke this putt, hit both balls simultaneously, and have both balls extend straight towards the target line with not one of them going offline right or offline left. Okay, so that's my goal, is to stroke both balls so they both go dead straight. Okay, so again, if I can do this, what that means is I've kept that blade totally square up until the point of impact. So I get myself set, and now let's see if I can do it back and through. So I was able to do that. The blade of the ball struck both of them. The blade of the putter struck both balls totally square, and they both went dead straight. Now, if I didn't do that, if I wasn't able to strike squarely, something like this would happen where, I manually tried to open up the face, and that the second ball tried to cut in front of the ball on top. So they were going in different directions, and you can easily see that when you practice this drill. So I would say when you get to the putting green, this is a great drill to just spend just a couple of minutes on before even striking putts. Just get here in the fringe area and just try to hit both balls together and see if you can't get them to go straight. Really, really quality drill. I think you're going to find some really good success moving forward with that drill as well. All right. The next one, I call it the gate drill. And this is going to be, again, moving continually forward in that direction of how do I keep that blade square all the way through the point of impact and have it continue on my target line. So I'm going to use a couple of aids. I'm going to start with some alignment sticks. So the first alignment stick is going to be clearly the line of my feet. The second alignment stick in which I've formed a T, that's going to be, the ball position where I want it in basically the middle or just slightly forward of middle in my stance. So I don't have to keep reminding myself over each putt. I kind of know where I'm at with alignment. Then what I'm going to do, so I'm going to put a couple of tees out in front. So I'm actually forming a gate, okay? So as I get situated, so I want to make sure the only way for me to get this ball to go through that gate is, again, to have the blade of this putter be totally square and in an extended position through the golf ball to the hole. So that's going to be my goal, is to extend that blade through the ball. So get myself lined up. I'm going to take my stroke, which is, again, right toe, left toe. I'm going to see if I can't get that blade to be totally square and get the golf ball to go through the gate. So head still, totally square. The golf ball goes through the gate. Now, you can see how wide my gate is. It's pretty easy. So that's how I start. What if I narrowed the gate a little bit? Clearly, it's going to be a little bit more difficult now. So now I have to really kind of be on it. I got to make sure I don't allow that blade to shut down. I don't allow that blade to open up. I got to keep my left hand moving down the target line. So, again, get myself set. Head still. Again, my stroke is right toe, left toe. Now my thought process, back of my left hand, extending down my target line. That's what's going to keep my blade square all the way through impact. So head still, nice stroke back and through. Whoop, didn't make it through the gate. I hit the left side of the gate. So that means my blade shut down as I was trying to extend through impact. This is a super useful drill. Clearly you can see if you have any mistake in that blade going through the golf ball, you're not going to make it through the gate. So it's gonna cost you. All right. As you get better at the gate drill, you can again continue to narrow the opening of that gate, make it more and more difficult as you continue on. It'll really be helpful to you. All right. Next thing I'm going to talk about is, it's called the circle drill. And what we want to do is we kind of, when we become good putters, we've got to figure out what our comfort zone is. What are we comfortable making? So we're like, 90, 95% of the time, we're going to make that putt. What is that range? Is it 1 foot? Is it 2 foot? Is it 3 foot? What's your comfort circle? So that's kind of what we're going after here, is we're going to practice our comfort circle. Okay, so you've heard me talking about lag putting in a lesson scenario before. I always say, what's your comfort zone? What do you know you're going to make most of the time? What is that length of putt? Most people would say, without even thinking about it, a foot. Well, if it's just a foot, anybody can make a putt from a foot. So most people choose somewhere between 2 and 4 feet. That's your comfort level. For me, it's 3 feet. I know that probably 98, 99% of the time, I'm going to make most of my 3-footers. If I miss a 3-foot putt, something happened. Either I lacked concentration, I didn't focus, I really messed up my alignment. Something gross happened with my putting stroke, and that's why I missed that super easy putt for me. So we're going to practice those in this circle drill, okay? So getting back to that lag putt, when we have that lag putt as that long putt, we're not trying to make it. We're trying to get into that comfort zone, that big circle, right? This is the cup, right? The cup's not 6 inches in diameter. The cup is this 3-foot circle. We're trying to hit it into that circle. So with that in mind, I like to use balls in a circle in a 3-foot radius around the cup. And here's the cool thing about this drill. You guys want me to come in? Not only are you practicing 3 feet or your comfort zone, what you're practicing is on each side of the hole, there is a little bit of a difference in break. So each putt, you have to create a little bit more focus as you stand over it. You have to think about it, okay? You can't just walk up to these 3-footers and just step in and do it. You got to think about it because each angle of that putt breaks a little bit. So the goal for me when I do this drill is I got to make all 6 putts 3 times. That's my goal. 3 times around the circle, I make them all. But it's just very simple. It's not a huge thought process for coming up with this drill. It's just practicing your comfort zone. Get myself set, line up, head still, and then all I do is execute. I do what I'm supposed to do. I let that left hand just kind of accelerate through the hole to the target. That's the key is, just like in business or anything else you do in life, if you practice things enough, all you're doing is executing. You don't have to overthink it. It's just executing. So again, make all 6 putts 3 times in a row. I don't know how long it will take you. For me, it probably takes about 15 minutes because I generally miss a couple. And for me personally, if I miss one of those 6 putts, I start over. That's just me. It's just the way I'm built when I practice. I want to make it really, really good. So that's the circle drill. One more drill to show you. Just give me a second to set up. This drill is called the ladder drill. And again, if you've taken a putting session from me, you've probably heard me talk about the ladder drill. It's really pretty simple. Each putt is about 1.5 feet, and I'm increasing the length as I move down the ladder. So the goal is I'm going to make all 6 putts in a row. If I miss any one of them, I have to start over. I can't stop the drill until I make all 6 putts. So it's pretty simple. I get myself set. Again, first putt, about 1.5 feet. No big deal. High in the ball. Execute. Next putt, move back. Now I'm about 3 feet. Get myself set. High in the ball. Execute. Whoop. I missed it. Now I got to start over. Okay. So it doesn't matter what putt you miss, but redo it. So again, this is 1.5 foot, 3 foot, and then it continually goes 1.5 feet out. Just so you know, 6-footers, the tour average, it's only 70% makeability. Think about that. So a tour player, a PGA Tour player, will only make 70% of their 6-footers. That's why these guys practice on the greens so very much. It's probably 3 times as much practice putting as it is any other parts of their game. So they're spending a tremendous amount of time practicing on the green, making sure that their putting stroke is as good as it possibly can be, and then all they're doing, executing, okay? So those are the drills I have for you today. I have just one more thing I wanted to cover with you, and that is on putts that are 10 feet and in, give yourself a chance to make that putt. In other words, I feel like distance is probably just as important as line on 10-footers. If your ball comes up short of the hole, you're never going to make it, right? So make sure that ball at least gets to the hole what you see in PGA Tour player putting is when the ball travels, it doesn't get to the hole and then drop. It dives in. Okay, that ball has momentum, it has energy, there's overspin. So they're putting enough power in that stroke to make sure the ball gets to that hole. So make sure on any putt of 10 feet it in, unless you're totally on a downhill or a side hill lie, which is a super difficult putt, you have to be really defensive. Unless you're in that situation, make sure that ball gets to the hole. I want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for allowing me to come into your computers, your tablets, your phones. I hope I was helpful. Again, as always, any questions, comments, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'll be happy to respond. I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope your family's staying safe. I hope you're staying sane. And again, I hope I was able to help make you a better putter. Have a good day.